Welcome, everyone, to this webinar organized by HJI International Graduate School for Peace and Public Leadership. Thank you for being here. It's an important program. We honor the 50 years of this great institution that was inaugurated, launched in 1975 with its inaugural convocation on September the 20th. And so we wanted to convene this webinar and invite some members of the first class who were at HJI, then UTS, back in 1975. I was around in the movement, but in Los Angeles, California, and had the blessing to come to UTS in 1977. I want to honor and respect and appreciate our founders, the late Reverend Sun Myung Moon, true father, and our true mother, Dr. Hak Jahan. I should say that many of you who've been involved with our movement know that there have been times of trial and difficulty and challenge, and that is as true today as it was in 1975. And so our thoughts and prayers go to true mother at this time in Korea, where there's facing very serious challenges. That's not the topic of today's program, but I invite you to keep her in your thoughts and prayers at this time. As we reach this turning point of sorts, we have moved from the 43rd Street campus to the New Yorker Hotel. We're now on the 12th floor in a beautiful space that we are nearly completed moving into, and I hope you'll find an opportunity to visit us. So thank you. Visit us in that new venue. Thank you for being here. We have a great lineup of speakers. I'm going to start by introducing Dr. Michael Jenkins. He is currently, I would say, shuttling back and forth between Washington, D.C. and Korea. Couldn't be here with us in person, but he did send a message, recorded message. So I'd like to invite Dr. Michael Jenkins, a member of the first class of UTS and currently the president of Universal Peace Federation for North America. So please, let's show the video of Dr. Jenkins.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Michael Jenkins. I'm just very honored to participate in the 50th anniversary of the Unification Theological Seminary, which is now the HJ International Graduate School for Peace and Public Leadership. I'm very honored to be with you, and I want to thank Dr. Thomas Walsh for his leadership as president, the past presidents, Dr. Ward, Dr. Hendricks, and so many others, Dr. Shimyo. So many great people had led this institution. I'm very happy to hear that our accreditation was just affirmed again for next period by the Middle States, and what a quality school that has developed there. I was lucky. I was in the first class, and I began there in 1975, and it's hard to believe it was 50 years ago. But I can't thank you enough for the education that we received there. I want to thank our founders, Reverend Dr. Sun Myung Moon and Dr. Hak Jahan. They founded the seminary with an understanding of the central role of Christianity, but also the central importance of world religions. And as I worked with the Universal Peace Federation with Dr. Walsh, and then again as president under Dr. Young, I had tremendous experiences based on my seminary education. I felt there was always a gateway to understand and embrace all religions because of my experience of learning about faith and about faith communities, and particularly with denominations. I was with our founder today here in Korea, and she is stronger than ever, really pushing for peace and love for all people. There's some challenges we're facing always in God's providence, but she talked about Christianity again, the importance of Christianity to help bring the world together. That was God's providence. And from the time of Jesus to today, the central role of the Christian body, but also going beyond that to the central role that Jesus had promised the second coming. And in that second coming, he's anointed Father Moon to take on a role as the person representing the Lord. And then also Dr. Han is the only begotten daughter. A new understanding has come to us because there must be a family. There must be a family in God's image. That's what she emphasized again. And the importance of Christianity bringing revival to the world. And why at a crucial time for Korea, they left Korea in 1971 and came to America. And why they came to America was to spark a revival of Christianity and to help Christian leaders come together. And they did it over and over and over again. And some of the trials, like the whole trial of Father Moon going through the different persecution and everything, and Mother standing right there with him, and Mother going through it again and again also. And Jerry Falwell, a conservative Christian, and Dr. Joseph Lowry coming together from the Black Church and Southern Christian Leadership Conference. How important that is for history. And now many top Christian leaders that are working at the highest levels in America really embrace and understand Mother Han's role to really be a peacemaker and a mother that will bring all families together, and also to bless marriages. And I'm just so excited about it. I've seen graduates of the HJI graduate school come forth now, and they're very capable. I've seen Kayleigh Moffett when we were in a congressman's office, and he started asking, "What's your thoughts on, reconciliation between nations?" She had such a clear understanding of how to address that question, and I saw her HJI education really in action. So again, 50 years, congratulations to all of our faculty, all of our staff, and also all the trustees, and especially our professors and everybody in the whole family of UTS and HJI, and particularly, once again, Dr. Walsh and Lynn, you make us proud. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Jenkins. Wish you could be with us, but a fine message. And thank you for the great work you continue to do so tirelessly and with your whole heart and soul. Wish you best in your work, particularly in Korea at this time. So we have 4 panelists lined up. If they could be spotlighted, I'm just going to briefly kind of introduce each of them, and then they will proceed to speak one by one. But first, we'll have Dr. Michael Mickler as our speaker. He is my colleague here at HJI. He's been here for more than 30 years. He is a distinguished professor of historical studies for this institution, widely published, worked on a very, very important chronology of the life and work and scheduling of Father and Mother Moon during their time in America that was recently published. And he'll be our leadoff speaker. He will be followed by Dr. Hugh Spurgeon, who also a member of the first class, as was Dr. Mickler, and served in a variety of leadership capacities for Family Federation. He is a former president of HJI or UTS. He has preceded me in that role and is emeritus president and 777 couple member of our movement, a senior and respected elder. Thirdly is Dr. Alice Fleischer. She is recently earning her Doctor of Ministry degree at HJI, but was a member of the first class where she got her diploma in religious education and subsequently got her master's in religious education in 2017. And she's been active in our movement, particularly in the area of blessing and family ministry, living in Colorado with her husband Gary, and their 3 children and 8 grandchildren. And fourthly is Yanni Maniatis, who was listed in the flyer as the librarian, but he was in not only that important role, but a number of very critical roles in those early days of UTS. And he was there when I came in 1977, and I could see the importance of his role working closely with then our president, Dr. David S.C. Kim, and was instrumental, particularly in helping and coordinating a lot of the early interfaith dialogues that took place and that grew into larger institutions over time and played an important role there. So these are our 4 panelists, and I'll now invite Dr. Mickler to be the lead off. Each will take about 8 minutes to make their presentation, and we'll go one by one in the order that I introduced them. And then if, as time permits, we'll have discussion among the panelists and then with our audience. So Dr. Mickler, you have the floor, sir.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Walsh, and good evening, everyone. I actually have prepared remarks. I hope it's not going to kill the webinar from the get-go, but I wanted to stay within the time limit, and I wanted to get in everything I wanted to say. I think I put on my historian hat. I hope to lay out sort of a framework within which then maybe some of our other speakers or in our conversation, we can share more personal testimony and remembrances from the beginning. So I'd like to begin by saying happy 50th birthday, HJI. It's an honor and an honor to offer my congratulations to 50 years of institutional life. So the theme of our gathering is in the beginning, look back at the time of the founding. So that takes us back to 1975 or even earlier when the seeds of HJI were planted. And those first years of HJI were distinct, even possibly unique, and connected to the circumstances of that period. And they're different from today in a number of ways. Most obviously, UTS was a fully residential campus located in the beautiful Mid-Hudson Valley with views of woods, water, and mountains. And now we're a largely line campus community headquartered in a densely urban environment of New York City. But rather than those differences, I'd rather concentrate on some of the continuities between yesterday and today. So biology tells us that seeds contain within themselves all the basic parts of future plants. So I would pose the question, what is HJI's institutional DNA? What are the genetic instructions that were built into HJI's identity from the beginning? And I suggest there are 3 enduring themes that characterize UTS at its founding that have continued to direct HJI's institutional life to this until today. The first of these enduring themes is, I would say, is interreligious cooperation. HJI UTS was unique among seminaries in the United States in that it installed an entirely ecumenical faculty. The founding faculty consisted of a Dutch Reformed New Testament scholar, a Church of Christ church historian, a Jesuit philosopher, a Roman Catholic religious educator, and a Unificationist systematic theologian. 2 Protestants, 2 Catholics, and 1 Unificationist. The next year, UTS added a Jewish rabbi and Holocaust survivor as professor of biblical literature and Judaic studies, a Greek Orthodox church historian, a Roman Catholic professor of psychology, a United Methodist professor of homiletics, and a Confucian professor of Oriental philosophy. In its first catalog, UTS described itself as a new graduate school of religious studies that seeks to promote interfaith, interracial, and international unity. I would suggest that the identity and mission of HJ International Graduate School for Peace and Public Leadership is perfectly compatible with that founding vision. UTS pursued interreligious engagement not only through its faculty, but through an amazing number of guest speaker events and eventually through theologians' conferences, which began the second year. The seminary's academic ecumenism was the seedbed for the movement's ecumenical and interreligious work and spawned numerous organizations and initiatives such as the New Ecumenical Research Association, or New ERA, Assemblies of the World's Religions, and the Universal Peace Federation. Dr. Walsh, who headed UPF for many years, is rebirthing this development at HJI today. The second theme I would highlight is academic excellence. From the beginning, UTS modeled its program and curriculum after the best theological schools in North America: Harvard Divinity School, Princeton, the University of Chicago, and Union Theological Seminary. However, UTS added emphases in philosophy and world religions that were lacking in those schools. Dr. Noda carries on that philosophical tradition at HJI today. UTS also sent out representatives from its first graduating class and the next two graduating classes, 36 students in all, to those very same schools, those great schools and others, to obtain PhDs in theological disciplines. Despite our commitment to academic quality, UTS had difficulty and fought a long battle to be recognized. UTS applied to New York State to obtain a state charter in April of 1975, but due to controversy over our movement and our founder, this was rejected. The New York State Board of Regents postponed their decision on the seminary application 6 times, sent 4 site review teams, and convened a committee to investigate non-academic allegations. It wasn't until 1990 that HJI obtained its absolute charter from the state of New York, this after multiple lawsuits and an appeal to the United States Supreme Court. UTS faced similar problems with the Association of Theological Schools in North America and Canada, ATS, and in the end, UTS opted to obtain accreditation through one of the regional secular accreditation bodies. HJI has continued to pursue academic excellence, and in recent years, our proposals have sailed through New York State Education Department and Middle States Commission on Higher Education, our secular accreditor, with no problems. The third enduring theme that I would emphasize at UTS is HJI's community life. This one is more difficult to quantify. All I can say is that from the beginning, UTS HJI community life and culture has been special, for the want of a better word. And this has been the case whether HJI was a residential, commuter, or online campus, and we have been all three. So I asked myself, why is this so? Why is the culture so special? Why is the community so special at HJI? And I came up with 3 reasons. The first is, I think HJI fosters bonds of community, especially among students, because there's more opportunity than in the church or in employment to cultivate not just relationships, but friendships. And these carry on for years as well, because they occur and are developed in an environment in which questions of meaning and ultimate purpose are pursued. A spiritual presence has always hovered over HJI. Secondly, I think HJI has benefited from exemplary models of leadership. Early on, UTS absorbed the imprint of Father Moon, who believed in academic and experiential education. Under his direction, seminarians found themselves knee-deep or higher in icy waters of Tivoli Bay, planting nets to catch carp. Additional traditions of leadership have been carried forth by successive HJI presidents, Dr. David Kim in the first years, Dr. Shimyo, Dr. Hendricks, Dr. Spurgeon, Dr. Ward, and now Dr. Walsh. A third factor in building community at HJI is the unification emphasis on family. Here I'd offer a shout out to the founding administrators, Dr. Kim, Dean Therese Stewart, and Dr. Edwin Ong. For me and for others, they exemplified what unification tradition refers to as parental heart. I believe this legacy has been carried forward by succeeding administrations. So interreligious cooperation, academic excellence, and community are enduring themes planted at HJI's founding and nurtured in ongoing years. I'd like to end by quoting from the Glory Be doxology, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever will be. God bless HJI. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Mickler. Excellent. And you kept the time beautifully, but very systematic. And I thank you for demonstrating your historical skills, because I think it really put things very aptly and appropriately to lead off in this series of 4 speakers. Thank you. Without further ado, I'm going to move now to Dr. Hugh Spurgeon. Dr. Spurgeon, you have the floor.
Hello, everyone. Dr. Mickler, that was great. Maybe I don't need to say anything.
Personal touch.
Yeah, I'll add the personal touch, and I'm not going to focus so much on the academic as Dr. Mickler did, but more lifestyle and the extracurricular. But first, I want to start by mentioning our founder mentioned many times 2 reasons why he came to America. One was to educate people about the dangers of communism. Another was to promote racial unity. But there is a third reason that's more spiritual, internal, that I heard Father Moon mention several times. And that was he came to America to establish a seminary that would train and provide leaders for our movement who could operate on the same level as traditional established Christian ministers, so that we could communicate with them. And that's one of the main reasons why we had such an outstanding faculty. I mean, top of the line, the best that's possible in terms of seminaries in America at that time. So Dr. Mickler gave the background of some of them. But for me, I want to mention 1975 was a time of dramatic change in our movement. Many things happened. One was the blessing of 1,800 couples. And of those couples, 95 of them went overseas as missionaries. 95 of Americans went overseas. And most of them, well, I would say actually all of them, were really good leaders and had been very successful in America, and they were successful overseas. But that led to a vacuum in leadership. So Father Moon, especially through Reverend Sudo, established a 120-day program at Berrytown and trained leaders for the field. My wife was one of the IWs at that time that visited those local or American missionaries. But what that meant was, for the first year, we shared the Berrytown campus, UTS on the one hand, that started in September, and the 120-day program preparing leaders for America. So I went from being what I described in my autobiography as a regional church leader to a student. And people would wonder, why would you do that? You have almost 300 members and you were happy, you and your wife, with what you're doing. But I jumped on the opportunity. Father directly asked me, do you want to stay as a church leader or become a student? Well, I love becoming a student. I learned so many things. And we were able, in all of these classes of UTS and HJI, to compare our own theology, unification theology, with that of other established religions. And of course, it gave us a time for prayer, reflection, but study. And for me, it changed my life because although I later did work as a church leader, my career then focused on professional academic conferences. And I did not anticipate that at that time, but for me personally, it looks like it was God's hand guiding me into new realms. So there were 56 students in the first class from 9 nations, as I understand it. And so we had incredible diversity. And I became the student body president. There was no administrator on the campus full time. They were living in Tarrytown at Belvedere and would come up. But what I did was I guess it was May of the following year, 1976, sent a message to Father Moon saying we need a resident administrator. So in addition to Dr. David S.C. Kim and Dean Therese Stewart, in September the next year, 1976, Father sent Dr. Edwin Ong, who had a PhD and did an incredible job as executive vice president. We can talk about many academic things. It was a time to develop close, long-time relationships with students and professors. And later, when I went on to doctoral work, I brought some of my professors to speak at Berrytown, just like Dr. Mickler and others did. But what is unique was what Dr. Mickler touched on in terms of the lifestyle and the training, and especially when Father Moon taught us how to make fishing nets to catch carp in Tivoli Bay. Now, when we started with that, initially no one knew what was going on, except 2 Japanese members of the first class, Mr. Matsuzaki and Onuki. And Father explained to them what was needed. But what's interesting to me, within a very short period of time, everybody was doing, preparing the fishing nets, including children and of course staff on the campus. So we went from one extreme to the other. And then in April of that year of 1976, by my count, 100 students, staff, and some church leaders locally in the freezing water of Tivoli Bay went out with our nets to catch carp. And then we took them, it's symbolic, but from there initially to the swimming pool, but then that was too small and not adequate, and we took them to the pond. It's like what Jesus did in terms of catching fisher of men. And we caught those carp as a spiritual foundation for witnessing and recruiting new members to our movement. And I was fortunate at that time also to fish with Father Moon in his boat on the Hudson River.
Dr.
And that
Spurgeon,
was
2 minutes.
only 2 minutes. Oh my gosh. Anyway, time passes. The Yankee Stadium rally on June 1st, on weekends, UTS students campaigned in New York City. We went every weekend. During the Washington Monument rally on September 18, we campaigned that summer, all summer long in Washington, D.C. So we were active. I graduated in June of 1977. Many of our graduates went to the field as major church leaders. I was one of a small number that received a scholarship to go on to graduate school in order to gain a PhD. So it changed my life dramatically, as I mentioned, and prepared me for an educational career that I'm grateful to our founders and our church for the funding, and to each and every church member who was involved in becoming students at UTS and HJI in the past. Did I make it?
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Spurgeon. Very, very well done and very informative, and a lot of good insight there. And I really like how you spoke to the issue of the impact. I know I can say similarly that my life really changed much, much, much for the better on the foundation of having gone to UTS. So thank you, Dr. Spurgeon. I'm going to move right on to one of the 8 women who were members of the first class, Dr. Alice Fleischer.
Hello and greetings. First of all, thank you, Dr. Walsh, and greetings to all on this call, in particular, all of my fellow 1977 class cohorts. So I'm going to give you a bit of a taste of the experience. In 1975, it was a tremendous culture shock. We found by going to UTS, it was not your typical workshop. Instead of studying divine principle, we were studying systematic theology, Bible, Christian church history, homiletics, philosophy, counseling training, ecumenism. Very little emphasis on unificationism or unification thought or theology. So what we were doing was being incorporated or inculcated into the realm of religious academia, to learn the language and to be comfortable in that realm. But it was certainly a culture shock. For those of us who had been in church leadership or on MFT, it was like total culture shock. There was a huge intellectual emphasis with a lot of personal responsibility. I think each one of the members of this first class pioneered the tremendous challenge of seminary life, which is it going to be a cemetery or is it going to be a seminary? And seminary, taking from the Latin word of seed, are you going to plant something in the religious realm in your life? And we came on different sides of that challenge. So, some faltered, but essentially when Dr. Mickler spoke about the community life, we really did step up. We created a bond amongst the members of this class, pulled together, supported each other, including we had group studies and tutoring. I appreciate Lloyd Eby teaching us about philosophy because it was totally foreign to me, but he would carefully guide us in that intellectual realm. And I think it's notable that we did pioneer the realm of ecumenical outreach. That's major. I think, Dr. Mickler, you're right. That was one of our, what we planted at that time, one of the seeds we planted, which then flourished. I want to give a shout out to the sisters. There were 8 of us who started, 7 who graduated. My dear sisters, Pauline Pilot Eby, Diane Muxworthy Feige, Lynn Musgrave Kreiner, Shigeko Watanabe Hendrick, Jamie Sheeran Maniatis, and myself. That's, proportionally not a very good percentage. but we persevered. And I think there is one experience which to me sums up this time. And that was we at the in the beginning, Father spent a lot of time with the seminary. He'd come up often and spend time with the students. And then he left us on our own for about a year and a half. And that it percolate whatever was going to be developing there. And then towards the very end, he came again. And that was when the fishing and the fishing net experience in Tivoli Bay happened. But there was one, like to me, watershed experience where we were getting ready to graduate. And you know, the fishing net happened while we were getting ready to take our finals. It was like not an easy time to take time out from that focus, intellectual focus. And anyway, Father gathered all the students who were graduating and said, okay, you want to go to the mountaintop? You want to become great leaders in the world? Go down to the valley. And he sent us out to MFT, which tells me no matter how much we were being pumped up to really earn the position of a leader, you have to go down to hell. You have to go down to challenges and claw your way up. It is not just handed on to you. So in retrospect, I think the great value of this experience for me was that it put or opened to me the realm of the academic, like Dr. Spurgeon was saying. It changed my life. Before I UTS, I had a degree. I had to be able to attend, but it was I wasn't necessarily very comfortable in that realm. But from from UTS and HJI, I embraced it wholeheartedly. So I pursued even part-time. And so I have a master's in sociology, emphasizing social theory. I extended the certificate from UTS and got my actual master's in religious education. And I have now the doctorate of ministry. So I'm grateful. It was just a life-changing experience, and I'm so grateful to our true parents for giving me that opportunity. I'm going to close early, so that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alice. I think you hit on, extremely important. I think and followed on what both previous speakers had said. This kind of shift you described, the kind of culture shock, and although we had a vital spiritual community, and many of us remember David Kim's morning briefings and early morning meetings every day. But it was true. It was academically rigorous, and we learned a new language that kind of expanded our understanding of the principle, and we could see the relationship, and it was critical. So that for me was. I just can't tell you, I loved being at UTS and studying, and was so grateful that this movement offered that opportunity. I couldn't imagine a better blessing. We'll now turn to Yanni Maniotis. Yanni, you have the floor. Welcome.
Whoops, I just lost my picture. Here we go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you, those of you who've spoken, and those of you who are there, who are here this evening. Those who I know, it kind of, all I can just say is big hugs. As Mike was saying, there was something so special about that beginning. T.S. Eliot says, our beginnings never know our endings. Well, actually, we never really know too much of all of it, do we? It's just one new moment after the other. And I have a different perspective, given that I was a staff member. I was up at Barrytown for 11 years, and Mike might say I never could graduate, but in fact, I had a number of positions actually too many, that I had to juggle while I was there. And in January of 75, I was sent up to Barrytown for 120-day training, and found out that the seminary was being put together. I had a degree in library service sciences and was a cataloger and all those good things. And next thing I knew, I was on the staff. And the staff was just 3 or 4 people who were there on a regular basis. One other person who was a librarian, Richard Murphy, and 2 other people. And then, as Dr. Spurgeon was saying, Dr. Stewart and Dr. Kim and Michael Water were all in Belvedere. And so there we were, putting this together, all of us together, whether we were there on campus or not. And there was just this excitement that just kept growing as the faculty started taking shape, as the quote unquote library, which was just one of the gyms with a bunch of old shelves in it, with as many books as Richard and I could buy and catalog and get in there before all of you guys showed up, or gals. And it was all a bit breakneck. And then there was that first day. Given that there weren't many of us on the staff, everybody was staff. So I was there helping to greet people. And I've told the story to Mike and Spurgeon and Tom that the first student came up I'm not going to explain exactly where it was, it takes too much time, just came running in the door. And who was it? It was Tom Sellover. Tom, I know you're here. And there you were, and this is not an insult. Your arms were, and your legs, and your smile. And it was, it's begun. And that pretty well encapsulates to some degree what Mike was saying about the culture there. It was very special. Again, the conversations, the ability to be with others, the ability to do quote unquote normal things, play basketball, and to as well just have those conversations, to be a part of something bigger, to realize that we're there with this incredible idealism, this desire to kind of change the world, to make it into something that people can all grow in and become more within and with each other. And the varied faculty. And anyhow, and the incredible fertility, the fecundness of the place, of all the things that happened. Many of you have referenced them, and faculty and this and that and that. And then I got to get my few digs in there. I got involved, building a library, which actually we modeled after Union Theological Seminary because I knew the librarian there. And then from there in 1977, conferences started to happen with professors, Professor Herbert Richardson. Those of you who were there, Madman Herb. My wife and I met him in 2019. We have pictures of us with him. He's still going. And there were 12 unificationists and 7 professors that year, February 18 to 20, 1977. Yeah, I got it written down somewhere. And then there were 3 more events that year. And then the next year, there were about a dozen. That's 78. And 79, a little bit more than a dozen. And then at one point, Dr. Kim, David Kim, who I'll give you a story about real quickly in 1 second, said to me one day, Father won't allow us to take any of the students to run the conferences. He wants them done internationally. Would you want to do it? And I went, why not? I had nothing else to do. To build a library. So yes, only a year or 2 later, we had $6 million a year budget, 25 full-time staff, half of whom were seminary graduates, doing all kinds of projects. I can rattle them off, but I won't at the moment because I don't want to forget to go back to David Kim. Youth Virgin made a reference to, I think it was his sermons and the energy with them and all that. Well, imagine sitting in his little office and having them get inspired while I'm sitting there and I'm the audience. So I can't tell you how many times that happens. And so there was kind of my father figure there, whom I love dearly. And then, not then there, because there was in our meeting now, Dr. Therese Stewart, and she was always Therese, and she was always there, you know, in that role of mother. The place, yes, of course it had Father Moon and Mother Moon, but it also had it where you could relate to it, or at least I could. It was there. And so for me, when Tom wrote me and said, you know, do you want to be a part of this? I didn't have any hesitation. I had no idea what I would say, nor do I still, but I don't have much more time, so I don't have to worry about that now. And it was, yeah, that was special. That has really formed me. And this whole interreligious stuff, it's like it was in my blood. I didn't know it was in my blood, but those of you who wouldn't have any idea of all the things that we did, but from Council of the World Religions, Assembly of the World Religions, whatever, New Era books, international, I remember conferences for clergy and all that. That's, I mean, the beauty of having that, to be aware of all these cultures, to be aware of all these traditions, to be aware of all these possibilities, to be aware of all this beauty, of God's beauty in each one of these individuals, each one of these traditions, each one of these faculty, each one of the staff. God, there were so many people on the staff there in Barrytown supporting all of it. And there were so many, you know, doing conferences. So it was, yeah, boy, did it have some problems. Oh, yeah, hey, of course we did. But I'm just left with something beautiful, and because it was made with love, and anything made with love lasts for eternity, and it's always there. So thank you for all that. I could go on with 5 zillion other projects, and I would love to just thank all the people involved that made it possible. Certainly the vision that Father Moon and Mother Moon brought to all of us. And yeah, anyhow, I don't have anything to say from my head. So I just kind of have to stop here because there aren't any more words.
Yeah, beautiful. And we feel your heart, and you know, I just recall the many chances I had, yeah, from 77 to 79 to get to know you and respect the work you were doing and the people that the first class started to bring, you know, people like Harvey Cox, who was a major figure at that time, who visited the school. And later, I think Houston Smith, they had the youth seminar.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, let me just say the last thing. This is actually something I can't get out in words. I subsequently, like 10 years ago, came back into the world of interfaith. And to my just marvel of it all, so many of the things that were started back in the day, as my son would say, were those were the foundations. These were the foundations for things that were still going on. And the ability to be able to reconnect with some of these people, and immediately it's like, wow, I remember you. We know each other, kind of a thing. So anyhow, no more.
Yeah, just to tag under that, Dr. Mickler and Frank Lagerty, you know, we had this widespread search to find Warren Lewis, and through persistence, Dr. Mickler finally sent a letter up to some island up in the far north of Maine near Newfoundland or something. And lo and behold, he gets a note back from Warren's wife, and Warren had a serious fall tumbling down the steps, so he's not in great shape, but a very warm and appreciative letter mentioning the excellent faculty that, you know, Warren Lewis to me is unforgettable, an icon from that time also. So just beautiful. And yeah, I mean, John, even the books, you know, we've been moving books from the library, books that you moved around. I've been stacking books down at the New Yorker because we had to move all these books from Barrytown 43rd now to the New Yorker, and also these books that were published, like Time for Consideration, the book that Daryl and Susan published
Right.
of the proceedings, and the Unification Orthodox Dialogue, and et cetera. These, they were just works of vision and genius, and that's never been lost. And we are committed to kind of renewing that. So thank you for being here very much. And I guess I feel now I see a lot of people, not even others from that class. Tom Selliver was mentioned. Hugh, I see your hand up. You want to say something quick? Otherwise, I want to go to some of these that I see in the
I
audience.
just want to recognize Dean Therese Stewart, who many of you see is online. And she just did an incredible job dealing with these professors, the faculty from all these diverse religious traditions. And also, of course, there's President David S.C. Kim. But we had one unification professor from the very beginning, Dr. Young-Eun Kim, who has her doctorate from University of Toronto in systematic theology, and of course, Dr. Edwin Ong. So we just had, in addition to the faculty, incredible, wonderful administrators, but really parent figures. So, Therese, hello. Oh.
Yeah, I think Dr. Mickler said she's our mother. Yeah, in many ways, you're our UTS mother.
Mother Superior.
It's beautiful.
Mother Superior.
Yeah.
Definitely superior. Yeah.
I also saw Marie Ong was with us, so that she's another great one, along with Edwin. But maybe Tom Selliver, Dr. Selliver, a quick word, and Dr. Shimio, please. Maybe the two of you, then Dr. Lloyd Eby, Lynn Kreiner, Jamie Maniatis, and
Tyler.
I think
Mr. Hendricks.
I'm thinking first of those who were in the first class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so very quickly, I love the words that Yanni Maniatis just gave us, that things that are founded in love always remain. And so I feel that that's a very hopeful word. When I see all the folks on this call, I think about all kinds of things that we did together, all the interactions, so many things, so many. And so much care. I think of our dean, who is so much trying to take care of all of the students as mom. That was such an ongoing, but so necessary, and I really want to offer my respect and love to her and to Marianne as well. So anyway, since we live forever, or at least a long time, I can't conceive of forever, but at least a while beyond the boundaries of this particular physical time, we're connected, and all it takes is one little mention and the connection springs to life. And so I appreciate it very much, and I'm so glad. I think also one more thing I would say, I put it in the chat, at a time when our movement is being critiqued and even ridiculed in Korea and in Japan, and it may even come back to the United States, this content that we've been talking about is really exemplary, and let it be known much more widely. Thank you.
Hear, hear. Well said, Dr. Selliver. And Dr. Selliver is teaching a wonderful course about the providence of in Korea.
Happy to be back.
Yeah, well, we're thrilled you're here. Dr. Shimio, another member of our faculty who has a forthcoming book in systematic theology that we're looking forward to seeing. But Dr. Shimio, member of the first class and a former President Emeritus of HJI.
Thank you so much, Dr. Walsh, for making this enjoyable webinar today. And my comment will be rather brief, but let me begin by saying that a few days after our first class started, a true father visited Barrytown, and he said a surprising statement. All of you were selected, handpicked by me, because you are all spiritually handsome. I couldn't believe it because I didn't believe that I belonged to that category. But anyway, from parental perspective, parents really love all their kids, whether they are ugly or handsome. So, and also, okay, although I was engaged in administrative work for 6 years, at least, as the second president of UTS right after President David S. Kim left. Nevertheless, I was primarily interested in theological studies, and actually, let me say this, UTS to me was a dream come true.
Yes.
In that, okay, my dream was to dig into Christian theology in order to compare it with the theology of true parents for the purpose of knowing where the truth of God ultimately lies. That was my primary interest, and the UTS gave me plenty of opportunities to fulfill that desire. So in that sense, I'm so grateful. And because I was so serious about theological studies, you can now send me any kind of theology question. I hope I will be able to answer any question coming from anyone.
Well, thank you, Dr. Also, I should mention that there will be a webinar on October 6th featuring Dr. Shimio on spirituality that I hope you'll get a notice about it. But thank you, Dr. Shimio.
Yeah, thank you.
You've done for this institution. Don't feel obliged. I just saw Dr. Lloyd Eby, a good friend I haven't seen in a while. If you want to say a hello or a short word, Dr. Eby.
You're muted.
Yeah, I'm not sure he can hear me. Do you hear me, Lloyd? Lloyd, I'm going to go to see if Lynn Kreiner wants to say a word while you try to figure out the unmute. Lynn, are you still with us?
He's got it.
Oh, Lloyd, yeah. Do you hear me?
You hear me now? I hear you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, I've been having problems figuring out this technology. I came from an academic background. I had actually taught at the State University of New York at Albany. And then I guess I got to unificationism because I was walking across Central Park one evening and some young woman came up and talked to me, and then she had things that were interesting. I thought, oh, I'm interested in them. However, Casablanca was going to be on television, and first things come first. So the movies are more important than theology. A view which I still hold to some extent.
Okay.
Because I think that it's through the arts that love is transmitted. Theology tends to divide people. Art tends to draw them together. So I'll leave that. You can think about that. And when I got to UTS, I was very much interested in philosophy, of course, because that had been my academic background. I especially appreciated Young-Eun Kim because she was a unificationist scholar who was not beholden to a received unificationist theology. In fact, she was willing to expand it, I think, in ways which I found attractive. I could say lots more.
You know,
Grew a beard because I got tired shaving.
or you're one of those spiritually handsome men that Dr. Shimio referred to.
Well, I don't know.
All right. Thank you, Lloyd. We want to give a few others a chance just to say a brief word. We're delighted to see you. I did mention Lynn Kreiner. I'm not sure Lynn is still on the call. Jamie, would you want to say a word? Your husband spoke very eloquently and beautifully, but people would like to see his better half if you want to just say hi.
Yeah, we have a competition going. I'm sorry.
She's the better three-quarters. I'll show you.
Yes.
So I just want to say thank you to everyone for your sharing from the heart and putting together a seed that burst open back in the 70s, and as I was listening to everyone, I was seeing that broken open seed where huge dramatic change was happening in the world. And, back in the 70s, the East was coming to the West. I was at the University of Vermont, and my second year of college, I went to Morocco. And long story short, I was running for my life in the Sahara Desert, had a spiritual experience, and came back to University of Vermont and changed my minor to world religions.
Wow.
And I was going around the town, and every church was like, we're right, the other one's wrong. And then I met some Australian church members on campus who were like saying, all religions are equal. They're all, it's an experience that we're aiming for, and no matter what name you give to it. And I was like, wow, this is what I'm meant to pursue. And then I joined the church after that, and being a part of the seminary was huge for me because I could also study more about world religions and experience the different cultures together. So it was profound seed that you all are a part of, and that experience of the memory of that and the campus and being in nature there. To me, that was another way that I would connect with my very first experience as a child with the divine was through nature. So being in that beautiful location, going after the carp, and being with all these different cultures from around the world was profound seed that has burst open, and we're here still watering that seed. And I have deep gratitude for all of you for having that bigger picture in that heart. And we, it's a win-win for us all as we continue to bring all the different fruits together. It's like a orchestra. You have a drum and a violin, and if you all tune together, what can we create that's beyond our comprehension and make a better world for the future? So thank you for being part of that. I'm very, very grateful too. And this is very special being here tonight.
Yeah, well, it's special to have you and to hear these precious words. Thank you. I also see that Pauline Pilot Eby is here. Pauline, do you care to share a hello or a word, greeting? Good to see you. See, we're not hearing you so far. I don't know if it's seem like you're not muted, but your sound, I don't know if it's the headphones are doing it or.
Let's try. Hear me now?
Yeah, hear you now.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I just want to say hi. And I think being at the seminary for 2 years was the chance for me anyway, I felt like family with everybody there. I think for the first time in the church. And even though, of course, I was in college for 4 years, I didn't feel like family there. So it was very different at UTS. And I just always feel the same, like we're family no matter where we are. That's basically it. Thank you.
God bless you, Pauline. Great
Thanks.
that you made time to come tonight. Thank you. I don't want to pressure either Dean Stewart, if you wanted to give a greeting, or Marie Ong. You don't have to give a speech, but maybe just, even if you just want to wave to everyone, uh, maybe Dean Stewart and Marie Ong could just be highlighted just to.
I just like to say hi to everybody, and it's really wonderful to see all of you and to hear your experiences, your tributes to the founders and so on. So thank you very much, and God bless you and your families.
Who's that handsome man with you?
A Berrytown baby.
Yeah, a special one.
Been a minute. Nice to see everybody.
Yeah, great to see you. Marie, want to add a word?
Oh, it's been wonderful to see the early UTS family to me, because we went there and we just felt like a family to me, a big one. And so wonderful to see you all and hear the stories and kind of look back at those early years. So thank you very much, everyone.
And everybody take note when you look at Therese and Marie that even as you age, you get younger and younger. You never age. So this is one of the benefits of our education. So I think what I'm going to do, did I miss anyone from the class that I just wasn't familiar with? If not, what I'd like to do is give our 4 panelists a chance to say a brief closing word. There's many of you that I would like to invite, but I think maybe we'll run out of time. So I'd like to just do one quick round with the 4 panelists. We will just kind of open it up to everybody. Will be on screen and can greet each other. And in any particular order, it can be in the order that you started, or it can just, maybe it's simpler just to go in the order that, so Dr. Mickler, if you want to lead off.
Yeah, I guess I'd like to echo the thanks that everyone has said. It's really awakened a little spark in me. I'm really happy to have participated today. Our class, the first class, I thought we always had the sense that we were kind of the rugged individualists that are going through and starting this whole thing. And the next class that came in were sort of always going around in groups everywhere and like that, although Alice noted that Lloyd had convened groups as well. And I know Tim with the Japanese, he could speak Japanese, so he did all.
Tim Elder.
Tim Elder was always helping our Japanese students that were in the first class, but I thought that we were sort of the Cane-like group, and the next class were the Able type group, and that's how it went. But
it was Dr. Hendrickson Wilson.
They can testify to that. They're here. They know. So anyway,
never let us forget it.
Is very meaningful. I didn't find God at UTS. I found God before in the movement when I joined, but I did find Christianity at HJI, and a whole new world opened up for me and my whole future path as well. So I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, a lot of our alumni, all of them, and all of us, grateful to you. Dr. Spurgeon.
Yeah, my wife and I were very happy prior to when I went to seminary. We were essentially evangelists, and really it was a major shift to go from that kind of activity to study and prayer. But one thing I did not mention is we had 2 children at the time that I went to the seminary, and they were in the nursery at Berrytown. What's called, oh, now I can't even think. It's not Jacob House. What is it? House. My wife in the background, the
Apple.
Gatehouse. So I was fortunate to spend time with my children there on the campus, but my wife was very active traveling from city to city, even state to state as an IW. So it was a time when the elder members were doing sacrifices for the broader purpose.
Yeah.
But there was a certain cultural change. And I think it was highlighted by the fact that the 120 program was going on while we were in the first class of seminary. And so all the enthusiasm and excitement and everything was very loud on one side of the building, and on the other side, we're in silence studying. That may be an exaggeration, but it was a different culture.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Spurgeon. Yanni, final word?
I'm going to say
Alice.
something. Don't
sorry,
forget me.
sorry, Alice.
So I want to acknowledge that it really was a family, Cain type or not, Dr. Mickler. But I'm eternally connected to each and every single one member of that class, of that first class, and I'm grateful. And I also want to acknowledge that maybe a takeaway that it introduced the dimension in the realm of religious academia to me, and I've run with it. I've incorporated that into all the academic work that I've done since then. So here again, it was a life-changing and enriching foundation.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Alice. Yanni?
Yeah, just playing off of Alice, you used the word eternal sense of connection, and at least for myself, I've had to, for a number of reasons, face the fact that my mortality and my immortality are rather close, and coming to some kind of conclusion, or at least another phase. And and then a number of people that I worked with, Daryl Bryant, Richard Kabuto, Dobum Toku, have all transitioned. Dobum Toku is going to come back again. He's a Buddhist. He's going to be the fourth incarnation when he does. I don't know if I'll be here when he does, but I'm waiting for him. And, you know, if I were to imagine, you know, what heaven would be like, it would be saying hi to all of you again. So, hi.
Nice. Very nice. Beautiful. I did not acknowledge Mr. Sakazono. If you would give a greeting. I'm sorry I overlooked you. Welcome, Takashi.
Takashi Sakazono speaking. So 5 years ago, I realized whose core is to live in the love of true parents, and even Heavenly Father and Mother. I sent a message to you. I realized after I accomplished tri-messiahship, I realized that the heart. So I pray for you every day with my cold shower for your happiness. And also, truth is very simple. Please realize, not necessary to discuss so difficult. Truth is very simple. To live in the true parents, I realize. And also one more correction. I studied the carp fishing with Thomas Silver with a valuable net. Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to you. I'm a 45 years businessman. This is a Hilton Hotel in Charles de Gaulle Airport. So I'm working vividly. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sakazono. Wonderful.
Make an additional comment.
Yeah, Lloyd, quickly, please.
I want to give a shout out to David Kim. Nobody else I've ever met has had his qualities. I remember once telling somebody if I went to him with a problem that was so complicated that I couldn't understand it, he would see to the heart of it immediately and show me what was wrong and show me how to fix it. If I went to him with a simple problem, he couldn't understand simple problems. He would get all bollocksed up. But I think maybe more than any other individual, he was a necessary character to make UTS work.
Yeah, that's a very appropriate final comment, Lloyd. Thank you for invoking the spirit of our great elder brother, Dr. David S.C. Kim. So we're going to close. I think we can bring, maybe we could show that video once again, just real quickly. I'm sorry, others who wanted to speak, but I think we're, over time. We can put everybody on with their cameras on and people can say hi, but maybe just show quickly that video that shows the picture of the first class might be nice. Very nice. Thank you. Just want to acknowledge also Dean Stephen Boyd, our Director of Enrollment Management, and our Director of Alumni Relations, Young Sun Winter. If they could just be briefly highlighted, and Ms. Angelica Baczynski, who is the Executive Assistant to the President. If they could just give a greeting and just give a quick word, Dean Boyd, Young Sun. So Young Soon, we're going to be doing these more regularly with featuring our alumni in this way in future classes. So you came at a good time. Angelica, can you show yourself? Yeah, I know you're at the switchboard, so to speak. But we've got some great second gen who are moving in. We have also Joshua Gerditowski, who's our new librarian, Angelica Buczynski, and Young Soon Winter. I'm sure I'm forgetting others. We have Mika Deshotel, who's on our faculty now. And so let's just open it up for everyone. Do you want to say a word, Dean Boyd, just quickly?
Just thank you, Dr. Walsh, for the inspiration to put this together. We're all really grateful. Just my only comment, Dr. Spurgeon, I was one of the members in that 120-day training that you heard screaming at the other end of the building. So it was a blessing. Thank you all for coming tonight.
Young Soon. Thank you, Dean.
Thank you so much. It was very heartwarming to see all those photos and to be here with everyone. Thank you so much, and excited for the future. Thank you, Dr. Walsh, and everyone here.
Young Soon's married to Fortune Winter, who's the son of Kevin and Evelyn Winter. They were missionaries in Africa for, as again, Dr. Spurgeon mentioned, the 1975 missionaries, and lived lives of sacrifice along with Mrs. Catherine Rigney. But we're grateful to have Young Soon with us. And here's Angelica. Wonderful. Yeah, another all-star second gen member of our team. We're grateful for. So we're looking now to the next 50 years. So, and we all expect to be here. How about I keep getting someone who wants Dr. Hendricks to say a word. So Dr. Hendricks,
okay,
I feel excluded. Maybe an honorary member of that class.
You can hear me okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, 5 points. One, I was really impressed, Dr. David Kim. No Sunday service. We visit other churches. I wish our movement would do that all the time now. Anyway, number two, one of his favorite expressions, money in the bank, confidence. Number three, years later, I was sitting next to David Kim at a lunch at Berrytown. And I asked David Kim, Dr. Kim, whose idea was UTS? He said, oh, my idea. And then a minute later, he tugs my sleeve. He says, no, Father's idea. And then Dean Stewart, words I remember ever since. I used to get bothered by people coming into my office to interrupt my work until I realized that those interruptions are my work.
Beautiful.
Finally, Yanni Matiadis. All's well that ends. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Walsh.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Hendricks. So maybe show everybody and just everybody on mute and just say hi to each other and shout out to one another. And again, sorry for those that didn't get to speak next time.